Okay, it's the end of July here on Drop-Tine Farms, and as with everything else on the Drop-Tine store that we've been actually using and recommending to clients, we're going to meet up with Galen Martin of Crop Care, and Galen's going to discuss some of the things that were built into this ATV sprayer. This is, we've actually run this sprayer and gotten quite a few hours under it, and then made some recommendations, which they have made those adjustments. And Galen's been kind enough to come today and show us the latest ATV sprayer. Galen, thanks for coming. And,
likewise, it's good to be here. And hey, when we really gave some consideration to what you guys do with these sprayers when you're managing wildlife food plots, we realized that one of the things that we wanted to pay close attention to, we redesigned it actually for those of you who use these sprayers in a rough terrain, is the tie-down assembly. This tank, it's a 25-gallon tank. It sits on the back of an ATV four-wheeler. When that's, you know, half full, three-quarters full of water, it adds a lot of weight, and it sloshes back and forth and puts a lot of stress on the plastic part of the tank. And what we did was we had designed an assembly that would tie this tank down to the four-wheeler without stressing the plastic tank. It transfers all that stress to a steel bracket here, so that you don't get a leaky tank after 1 or 2 seasons. We did a few other things too. One of the interesting things is on these little 12-volt pumps. All of these type sprayers have a 12-volt pump. What we did at Crop Care was we oversized that pump a little bit. What we don't want to see is for our customers to have to replace that pump every 1 or 2 years. And the pump, when you're going to buy a sprayer like this, take a look at that pump. The mass, the size, the weight of that pump has a lot to do with how long it's going to last. You can get a small pump that's going to spray enough material, it'll function okay, but if it's just big enough, it's not going to last very long. So we oversized ours a little bit so that you can get a lot of years of use out of it. We also give a lot of consideration to the tips, the spray tip and the nozzle body. Hey, and when you're looking to buy a sprayer, give some thought to that tip, what tip is there, and what that nozzle body looks like. 3 things to think about. One is performance, one is safety, and one is durability. So in an effort to provide you with a tip that's going to spray uniformly, consistently, for a lot of years, we gave you a ceramic tip rather than a much less expensive plastic tip. That way you're going to spray uniformly for a lot of years. The other thing we did was on this tip, we put on a nozzle body that has inside it a rubber diaphragm. What happens is when you're out there spraying, you want to take a break for lunch or something, you park at the edge and you go in for lunch, you're away from it for 3/4 of an hour. If you shut that sprayer off, what you want that tip to do is stop dripping now. That rubber diaphragm in this nozzle body does exactly that. It stops it from dripping now. That's a safety thing. You know, it also prevents you from dripping Roundup or dangerous chemicals somewhere where you don't want them to drip. Safety part of it is, hey, if your kids are anything like my grandchildren and they see that thing dripping and nobody's around, it's like a magnet. They got to go over there, put their hand under it, you know, and play with it. You know, so that's quite a big, quite a safety feature there, as well as a way to provide you with a product that's going to be pain-free, easy to use. It's going to last you a long time.
I'll tell you what, Galen, that's some good information right there. And I'll be honest with you, what initially drew me to your sprayers was the foam marker.
Yeah.
And you know, we watch farmers in agricultural fields with these big 200 and 250, these giant sprayers. and they've got foam markers, and running four-wheelers and food plots, the amount of herbicide that you waste, or skips, you have skips and overlaps. This foam marker, I'd never seen one before in an ATV sprayer. And then as we got into all the features that you've packed into this little rig, I realized that 90% of the failures that we have had with our sprayers came from leaks under here where it's attached. And the way that you have your engineers there at your facility have completely redesigned that so you don't see that wear and tear in the leaks. It's frustrating, those throwaway ones that we've purchased at the local suppliers. So that's good news. This little thing is action-packed. It's just feature-packed, and I can't wait to get it out there and check it out.
Thank you, Jason, and kind words. And I always love talking to wildlife food plot people, and love talking about sprayers. So thank you.
Yep. Yeah. What we found is we plant a lot of acreage in food plots, and if you're out there just planting 1 or 2 acres, it's okay to buy one of the cheaper, more throwaway type sprayers. But if you're planting 5-10 acres a year, or maybe even more than that, this heavy-duty, well-built ATV sprayer it's really a savior in our food plot program. And hey, let's face it, the 3-point sprayer we use on my tractor here on the farm is 150 gallons, but there's not always enough room to get that tractor into some of our smaller plots, nor does it make sense to fill up 150 gallons. So let's get it out in the field and see what it can do.
Let's do that.
Okay.